remember my first Squier Classic Vibe. I thought that'd be a laugh, I bought it. That'd be a laugh. And I was amazed at how good it was. Squiers can be made to sound every bit as sonically good as Fenders. But the great thing about these is also that it's that fantastic platform for us to learn how to do this stuff. You know, no one can accuse you of ruining an expensive guitar, because you haven't. You've improved an affordable guitar. Well, you might not. You might have ruined an affordable guitar, but it doesn't matter, does it? As long as you've had fun doing it. Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. You're very welcome, of course, as always. Good to see you. So today, we're looking at a Telecaster. We haven't done a lot of Telecasters, really. We haven't done a lot of Telecasters. There's lots of Telecasters to get through. And I do intend to get through them, trust me. There's a brilliant range of Telecasters that we need to look at. We've only done a couple, so it's difficult deciding which to go for. So I've been thinking about this for a while and been looking at, you know, the Fender Player. Need to do a Fender Player Telecaster. Classic Vibe 50's, we had a go at that. That didn't work out so well. If you've well, there you go. There's the video. You can check that out. What I like to do here on the channel is buy guitars that I like, because I buy them. You know, I don't get gifted them. I buy them, and although I can't keep all of them because it just wouldn't be practical, I do like to try and get hold of guitars that fire me up in some way. I'll be honest with you. I've been gassing for one of these for a while. And you know what it is because you've seen the thumbnail, but it's of course what I think is an ultra cool guitar, the 70's Telecaster Deluxe. This is the Squier Classic Vibe, and it's an affordable, and it costs £349. And it's a thing of beauty. It's a Telecaster, it's got two humbuckers, it's Olympic white, and it's got that, I think, really cool 70's headstock that obviously they put on the Telecaster Deluxe. So I'm excited, guys. Let's have a look at it, shall we? See what it sounds like and stuff. Let's get stuck in. This one is made from poplar. It's got a poplar body, string through, as you can see, and big old nice belly cut there, which is very comfortable. 4-bolt neck on this one. The originals had a 3-bolt neck. Maple neck with the skunk stripe and the large 70's headstock, which I'm a massive fan of. I grew up in the 70's, so anything in the 70's, you know, large Fender headstocks and Yamaha FS1Es, anything like that, I'm a fan. No, I mean, these necks are great as well. The Squier necks, they give them this vintage tint, which is, it's just really nice. I say, every time I pick up a Squier, I say there's something really nice about Squier necks. There is something really nice about Squier necks. If you haven't tried one, you should feel it. This as well, this has got narrow tall frets. They say it's a medium C. It's not at all thin. We'll measure it in a bit, obviously. But I say narrow tall frets, and you know what? I was looking at this. The fretwork on this is superb. I won't say for a £349 guitar, but for any guitar really. I mean, I'm not suggesting it's boutique level, but you know, I'll do some close-ups and you'll see what I mean. They look really well finished. And it's got a bone nut on this as well. Here's a close-up of that. I mean, you can see that. That's really well cut. Measurements, this has got a 25.5-inch scale length and 9.5-inch radius fingerboard. And it's very comfortable, I must say. Tuners on this, they've put the the Clusen vintage style tuners on, which are very cool. They're not necessarily vintage correct. The originals on these range of guitars would have had the F stamped ones, which I think were made by Schaller. I'm not certain about that though, so don't quote me on that. But all in all, overall, it's got the look, it's got everything going on. Oh, and look at the witch hat knobs, which are my favourite knobs of all time, as you may well have noticed. The pickups are these Fender, or Squier's version of the Fender wide range humbucking pickups that, as we know, were designed by Seth Lover, who also designed the original PAFs. And these were designed to take on Gibson Les Paul. This model was introduced in 1973, this particular model, and lasted until 81. So probably wasn't as successful as some would have hoped. But these sound they're quite a unique sounding pickup, these. I like them a lot. We'll have a listen now. We'll have a listen, we'll plug it in, have a listen, go through some sounds, and then what we'll do is we'll take some readings off them, and then we'll pop the pickguard up and have a look and see what's going on underneath. Cool. Here we are. So, unplugged. This is what it sounds like. Sounds nice, it sounds promising. So I'm using the Black Star little HT1 again, because I love it. I messed around, I thought I'd have a change this week, so I put the AC15, the Vox in, which is lovely. But then I thought I'll just actually do a little quick comparison. And whilst the Vox is lovely, the thing about this little Black Star is, because it's only 1 watt, it's cranked, and you've got that real great natural tube compression that we all love, which is and even though I've got a compression sustainer, it's a CS3, a Boss pedal that I use, which compresses it more. But if you take that off, you've still got the that's just giving it a little bit more oomph. So if you've never tried adding a compressor to your signal chain in the pedal board, you should. It kind of tames everything. I sometimes wonder if I use a little bit too much compression, but I mean, I like it, so there you go. Controls. So 2 pickups, 2 volumes, 2 tones. The switch is on wonky, incidentally, but I'll fix that when I take the pickguard off. This is straight out of the box, so obviously I haven't done anything to this yet. I haven't touched the action. I haven't done anything to it. I've tuned it up, and it feels great. So that's wonky. The switch is a little bit wobbly, and I need to fix that when we get a minute. But hopefully it'll be fine. So on the bridge pickup, it sounds like this. That's fully cranked. And on the neck, these are really nice pickups. They give it a really nice, wide open, wide range sound, I suppose. Just see if the volumes work. Yeah, I played with these earlier. There's very limited range in the volume controls and tones also, I believe. It's a bit scratchy as well, that. I can hear that already. scratchy as well. It's a £349 guitar. I know, you know, we've recently, well, actually, on quite a few occasions we've reviewed similar price guitars that are much better in that department. This one isn't. So, you know, these are cheap, and we'll have a look in a bit. I'll try and edit this in so that we haven't seen what's under there yet, and it'll be a nice surprise, won't it? So we can have a look and see. Okay. The Fitch squeals all right. The switch feels all right. Okay, let's play something and see what's what. Okay, so yeah, this fingerboard looks great. And to say the frets, they look really good. Let's have some close-ups of those. And the necks on these are just fantastic. Okay, let's weigh it. £8 1 ounce, 3.66 kilos. And I do love these Fender style locking tuners, the way you just pop the string in and tighten it up and it locks. So easy to restring a guitar with those on. Yeah, all of this up here is just superb. Crafted in Indonesia, of course. Designed and backed by Fender. Yeah, all superb up there. Right, so what we'll do now is we'll take some pickup readings. We'll measure the resistance and the inductance. And then we'll have a look underneath. Okay, so resistance of the bridge pickup. 7.81 kilo ohms, and the neck 7.41 kilo ohms. And then let's switch over to Henrys. So the inductance on the neck is 3.82 Henrys, and on the bridge 4.16 Henrys. And I think that gives you more of an idea of the output than the actual resistance does. But I think it's a combination of all sorts of things. So I'm no longer going to refer to these readings as the output. This is the inductance, and this is the resistance. There you go. Okay, let's get the old screwdriver out. Lots of screws in this one. let's see if I can ease this up, see what's going on. Aha. Oh, there's lots of slack. That's good. Let's put me, let's flip that over there. You missed all the fun. I was just trying to tighten the jack socket. And as you can hear and see, it's still wobbling. All I managed to do was take the nut off and find you need a 12mm socket to tighten it up. But actually it didn't make any difference because it's actually the clip that holds that bushing in place is what's wobbling. So that was a waste of time. It's not a very good design. So, well, I suppose the good news is you know that the socket's tight enough. So the wobbling is just to do with literally that bushing. Anyway. Okay, so the pots here, there's no identifying marks on, apart from the fact that they're alpha pots and they're made in Korea. So we don't know what the resistance of those pots is. Could be 250k, could be 500k. Unlikely to be 1 meg, which they recommend for these pickups, I believe. But I'm afraid that's all the info I have at the moment on those. Pickups, as you can see, identified as wide range humbucker, and some numbers on them as well. Switch is, you know, feels all right. There you go. Let's put that back on. Take the plastic off now because I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this one. It looks a bit, well, the screws are out at least, and then I've just got to tear around these other bits, which is always a faff, isn't it? There you go. Bit of patience required if you're going to attempt to take the plastic off this pickguard. It goes on forever. I've done it. I've succeeded. A little bit left on those, but I'm not going to muck around with that. Switch is in the right position now as well. Feels all right as well. Okay, screw that back. Okay, so here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. So as you can see, they call it a slim C profile, which is correct, but it feels really comfortable and it feels the hand nicely. So I like this. That's that. I think we've covered everything. So what I'm going to do now is put the strings back on. We'll have another listen while I'm doing that. Then we'll come back and catch up. We'll have a little bit of a chat about it. See you in a minute. Cheers. So there you have it, the Squier Classic Vibe Telecaster Custom. Beautiful, isn't it? I really like this guitar, as you might be able to tell by now. I really like this guitar. And I really like Squiers, and I particularly like Squier Classic Vibes. I guess because that's where most of my Squier experience lies, with Classic Vibes. I remember my first Squier Classic Vibe, in fact. And it was, do you know, I only got back into guitars about 10 years ago, after a long layoff. And I'm kind of a person of an addictive personality. And when I get into something, I'm full on, you know, I'm there, I'm all the way. And guitars obviously is a very healthy addiction. I got into guitars and I started buying some expensive guitars, you know. At that point, I was a real brand snob. If you didn't have Gibson or Fender on the headstock, you know, then probably some exceptions, but they were the brands that I was into. I weren't interested in Squiers or Epiphones. But I started buying some expensive guitars, and I quickly realised I was going to bankrupt myself if I didn't curtail that habit. So I saw a Squier Classic Vibe Telecaster Custom, you know, the 72 Custom. And you know, I don't know if you guys probably remember, I've got an original, a vintage one, which is one of the guitars that got me back into it. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, 1978 72 Custom. 72 Custom is what they call it, and this is 1978. And my lady partner bought me this for a notable birthday some years back now, in fact. But this is one of the things that got me back into guitars again. I'll be doing a special film on this one on the subscription channel in our Affordable Vintage series, coming soon, so you might want to check that out. Anyway, I had that and I started playing that a little bit, not much, and then I bought a Stratocaster. I was over in Australia in a hotel and I had nothing to do, so I bought a Stratocaster and started playing. There's a bit of a story about why I started playing again and got back into guitar, which I haven't got time to go in here. That I will save that for another time, but in a fairly short space of time, I bought an American Stratocaster, I bought a Gibson Les Paul Gold Top, and then I bought a couple of Telecasters, Fender Telecasters, and then I think I bought Les Paul Custom. And as I said, I quickly realised that it was going to bankrupt me. So I saw the Squier version of that, and I thought that'd be a laugh. I bought it. That would be a laugh. And I was amazed at how good it was. You know, I only bought it really to kind of, you know, feed my addiction for buying guitars. But it was great. I was amazed. And the guys in the shop, it's in PMT in Southend. And, you know, the guys there knew I was into these guitars and I'd been spending a bit of money with them. And then I grabbed this thing. I go, oh, this is brilliant. And they were like, it looks a bit odd, you know. But it was. You know, there was nothing not to love about it. It felt great. And that cost me, I think it was £269, you know. And it opened my eyes. And since then, I've owned several Squiers. You know, I've kind of bought and sold them. I've had some great, they used to do a vintage modified range, which was great, with some real quirky stuff. And, you know, again, like everything, I wish I hadn't sold them, but you sell guitars, it makes way for more, you know, you experience them for a while, you enjoy them, you pass them on to somebody that else is going to enjoy it as much as you did, hopefully, and then you buy something else, and it's the circle of life, isn't it? Or the circle of guitar life, maybe. And every Squier that I've had, certainly every Squier Classic Vibe that I've had, has been great. Surprisingly good. Fabulous necks, really nice necks. They've all seemed to have this really nice vintage tint on, which is really nice, and they feel great. And I've never had a problem with frets, sprout or anything like that. Although, you know, in the UK, it's not an especially dry climate. So you know, I do get that in some other parts of the world, maybe that is an issue on these affordable guitars. But I can only speak, you know, from my own experience, and I never have a problem with that here. And certainly the nuts on Squiers are great, and the tuners, they've never have a problem with tuners on Squiers. And the only thing is, you know, the electronics let them down, because this is the one thing that's cheap. On this particular one, I don't think there's anything wrong with the pickups at all. I really don't. These are the same, exactly the same pickups that were in the Classic Vibe Starcaster that we reviewed not long ago. There's the link there. And they sounded great in that. And I think they sound great in this. There were a couple of bits in the playing that I was listening to that sound a little bit brittle. But I think that's really more to do with my ferocious pick attack on some of it, and maybe the settings, than anything, you know. So if you don't like that kind of specially brittle stuff, I don't think it's the guitar's fault. The pots need changing. They do work. I mean, they work fine. If you were just going to buy this to play at home for your own pleasure and a little bit of recording at home, maybe, it'd be absolutely fine. But if you wanted to gig with this and maybe, you know, use it for anything more serious, you know, you'd want to change the pots. But the great thing about these is also that it's that fantastic platform for us to learn how to do this stuff, to learn how to modify guitars and change pickups and muck around with setup. It's absolutely perfect for that. Particularly with something like this, where it's just all on the pickguard. So you just take the strings off, take the pickguard off, and then it's, you know, you can take it away from the guitar and practice soldering to your heart's content, you know. It's a very easy guitar to work on. And it doesn't really matter if you get it wrong, because you can just keep having another go at it till you get it right. And that is, again, part of the fun of buying guitars. And, you know, you don't want to do that on a 1,500 quid Fender, do you? But this, spend a few £100s on it and it's entirely your own, and, you know, no one can accuse you of ruining an expensive guitar, because you haven't. You've improved an affordable guitar. Well, you might not. You might have ruined an affordable guitar, but it doesn't matter, does it? As long as you've had fun doing it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you haven't experienced Squier Classic Vibe, I seriously recommend you get one in. In fact, on the forum on the Guitaristas subscription channel, there's a little bit of a debate going on at the moment. People are gassing over the 70's Jaguar, the Squier Classic Vibe 70's Jaguar, because, you know, someone in the States, I think it's Sweetwater, are discounting it, crazy price, and it's like, well, why wouldn't you want a surf green 70's Jaguar for that money? And it is. It's great. It's great fun, and that's what we, a lot of us, you know, are doing. We're just having fun mucking around with guitars, aren't we? But these guitars are also good enough to play seriously on stage. Mike Rutherford plays a Squier on stage. Did you see the film on Anderton's channel where Matt Gleason at Monty's, you know, upgraded a Squier to make it sound like one of their custom shop ones, with brilliant results? And I know Matt is a big advocate of Squiers. We did an interview with him a while back on, I'll put a link. And I think he said in that he thinks Squiers, with a bit of fettling, Squiers can be made to sound every bit as sonically good as Fenders. So, you know, I know, you know, there are skeptics, and that's fair enough. But for me, it's about enjoyment now, and I do find that I get as much enjoyment, sometimes more enjoyment, out of affordable guitars like this as I do out of the expensive ones. So this won't be the last. Well, of course it won't be the last Squier Classic Vibe. There'll probably be another one next week, or it won't be next week because I've got something else next week. In fact, it's going to be another Les Paul shaped guitar next week, because I've got a Les Paul Studio in, because I had to, obviously, for scientific reasons. But following that, there'll be more Squiers. There'll be more Telecaster shaped guitars for sure. I'm going to get another Classic Vibe 50's Telecaster. I'll get the butterscotch one this time. And then we'll get a Fender player and some others. And I'll look at the Affinity range as well. You know, I've got a year ahead of planning what guitars we can look at. So let me know. Let me know what you think. As always, I love to hear your comments down there where the comments go, obviously. That's good. Like it. I love this guitar. Thank you very much for joining me and taking a look at it. Hope to see you again next week. Come back, find out what we're up to then. Well, you know, because I just told you, but we'll come back and look, eh? See you then. Bye.